Well, hi everybody, Brett Coombs from Munro Property Group. Just thought I'd do my market update a little bit early this month in July already, so we're halfway through. We've got the home stretch to Christmas, so just thought I'd update on a few things that are happening in the real estate world at the moment. So there's a lot of press about Adelaide for a change. So we're kind of setting a bit of a trend. And they're talking about Adelaide property rebounding back from COVID a lot sooner than their interstate counterparts in Melbourne and Sydney especially. So property is predicted to rise, and also because our current government has focused on jobs for the last couple of years. All the commentators in the property investment space are sort of saying that Adelaide's kind of could be the place to be soon. So and that's certainly reflected in some figures. So Norwood at the moment, so if you've been watching my videos the last 3 or 4 months, Norwood growth rate's been for the year has been tracking on at about 7-8%, and the figures have just come out from RP Data, CoreLogic. So up until June, that Norwood growth rate is at 17.6% year on year, so from the year before. So that's a bit of a rise. Median price is just over $1 million now for Norwood. Days on market are about 42, so that's still probably a little bit higher than what we'd like, but it's still about where it's been the last 3 or 4 months. But the number of sales are down. The actual listings on the market are down 42%, so that's quite high. And that may, of course, have some reflection on why pricing is holding in Norwood. But if you look at McGill's up to 8%, Felixstowe up 15%, Campbelltown, so that took a bit of a dip. Lots of development policy hacked by the council there, but even Campbelltown the last month or so is tracking along at about 9%, 30%. And just looking at some of the sales, not only from us, but from other agents in the area, those properties, so it seems to be those core family homes and stone-fronted villas, all that sort of thing, are really doing quite well. Units have dipped a little bit, but the property management side of things for us has been quite strong. We need some listings. We've got obviously more tenants inquiries than we have property at the moment, so that's still way down. And Adelaide, Sydney CBD, it was reported in the Fin Review last Friday that it has 50,000 vacancies of rental property in the CBD at the moment. So whereas Adelaide, we're under 1%. So we're something that I wanted to touch on at the moment. So we had a very busy May, and up until recently, writing a contract a week, sometimes more. The builders grants had a bit of an effect on buyer activity, as you would expect. But financing is a real issue at the moment. So not only are they taking a long time to process loans where they can, so some of the banks have overseas processing in India, so that's probably almost shut down. But what we're finding is happening is that banks are, a week before settlement, asking for a last pay slip and asking for that last bank statement for the month. So, and then declining loans that they've already approved and signed up for. So we've had a buyer that's now leasing the place for 6 months off a vendor. So because, he was pre-approved, signed mortgage docs, and we went to book in settlement, and the banks turned around and said no loan. And the reason being was he's changed his job. So in the last week, and he's earning more money, but they've declined. So and some of the brokers are saying to me that banks are taking two months for approval. Standard in the real estate game, we're seeing we normally do 2 weeks for bank approval in a normal market. Now it's 2 months. So, and in fact, I'm turning around and saying to clients, look, I'm not accepting subject to finance unless you've got a pre-approval situation. So a couple of tips that we're seeing from the various brokers and loans that are getting knocked back all of a sudden. So you really need to delete all minor transactions and have that done for a period of 3 months. So your Netflixes, your trips down the pub, the bottle shop, takeaway, just get rid of all of it. Just a statement and have some savings history. We're also finding some clients where they've got an existing loan with the bank, they go in for a pre-approval, they decide to sell, they get the house ready, sell their property, go into the bank with a contract. No, we're not giving you a loan anymore. So just be a little bit careful. Don't think because you've got a relationship with your bank at the moment you're automatically going to get finance. And it's probably a good time to shop for a new bank at the moment. So a couple of those non-bank lenders are really taking up the slack. Also, Bank SA is fairly aggressive at the moment as well. In some instances, they've still been a bit difficult to deal with, but overall they're pretty good. So don't automatically assume that you can trade up at the moment, or even trade down. If you need finance, you need to get that sorted pretty early. So you need to get rid of it. So banks are being tough. Finance is taking longer. But overall the market in Adelaide is quite strong. And I think probably spring will be an auction season. So just be prepared for that. A lot of vendors are a bit nervous about auction, but I think it with such low stock levels, it'll be a good season for auction. And that might be the traditional at the front of the house auction, or it may be online auction. So a lot of the buyers are really in tune to online auctions because of the transparency. They can see all the bids and they don't have to lob up on a Saturday morning at 10 o'clock to start bidding in the rain or anything like that. So online auctions are probably going to be really popular this spring, and I think auctions overall, I think it's probably going to be a good market, judging by the listings. So the amounts, Adelaide overall is down 42%. So on stock levels, so it's obviously going to be a good auction market, and there are buyers out there. So a lot of our buyers that we're seeing, they're very confident at the moment. They're not talking about discounting, they're just talking about doing a deal. And also with low stock levels, there are also some pretty good properties that are selling off market at the moment. So they're not always reflected in realestate.com. And there's a lot of social media activity. So with all these virtual tours going through, we're kind of doing all those things first to our buyer database before we put it up onto the real estate portals. And we're finding that we're getting, we're talking to qualified buyers, and we can have that discussion about finance early and sort of say, look, we're not doing a subject to finance contract unless we see a pre-approval, and they don't get offended, and they've got it already anyway. So quite often the off-market market is quite good for both buyer and seller. So overall, pretty positive. I can't sort of say enough at the moment about Adelaide, and private inspections are good. So there's a lot of email activity over the weekend. Open inspection numbers, from my point of view, have been fairly quiet. But email inquiries and a lot of private inspections during the week. So I'm suited up today and had a shave, etc. So I don't even recognise myself on the camera here. But as I said, if you've got any questions or you want me to focus on a suburb in my next report, please drop me a line. But they're all tracking along pretty nicely at the moment and throughout the Norwood Eastern Suburbs area. As I said, Norwood's up 17% on the year before. McGill's up 8, Felixstowe 15, Campbelltown 9. And listing levels are down. So I think, as I said, a good market and a good time to put your property on the market at the moment, because there'll be a lot less stock than normal. So have a look at my YouTube channel. So we've got some videos on there, and if you've got any questions on putting your property on the market, and obviously it's a good time to get us in early, and we can focus on those areas that make a property sell. Hope everybody's well, and that's all from me for this month of July. I'll probably do another market update at the end of July too, so just to see how it's tracking. And we may even do a weekly thing on Instagram just to give some figures out there and just let everybody know what the market's doing, because it's been lots of reporting from interstate and it's different to Adelaide. So I'll keep you all posted. So as I said, take care, and any questions, feel free to contact us by email, brett@munroproperty.com.au, or my mobile 0421 323 699. Thanks guys, cheers.